Welcome to, or welcome back to Andy Con Trains. Thank everybody for the recent subscriptions, all the positive feedback, and returning following subscribers. Today's going to be a little update. Right here I have a Proto 2000, got an auction pretty cheap. Put a Digitrax decoder in it. Fairly simple. Put gears in it like always. These are really nice models. The only problem is not all of them are really smooth runners. So I'll test it on DC first on a test track, and if they're bad runners, I'll just make them dummies. If you get them cheap enough, not a big deal. So this New York Central's a powered unit. It runs okay. It's quiet. It's just the decoder needs some adjustment. Like right there, I tried speed it running, and now it's being goofy. The Pennsylvania GP7's also a dummy Proto 2000. Bachmann Spectrum GP30. I got that dirt cheap. I ripped the motor and gears out right away. No reason to put DCC in there. Some Reading hoppers I thought were really cool. A 1975 build date on these. Perfect for my layout. Here's a Walthers switcher. I've had this a while now, but I did a little update, put a patch on it. These are really nice little engines for the money. It's a main line. Perfect switcher for my layout. I recently got a patch yesterday. But these Proto 2000s are fairly detailed, really nice. And if you can get them for cheap enough, worst case, I just make a dummy out of them. I'm going to renumber these to the correct Conrail numbers. The New York Central actually is the correct number because Conrail used the New York Central numbering system for all their power. This GP30 is a Spectrum. Got it for like 15 bucks, so that automatically became a dummy. I painted the handrails with the yellow, weathered it, patched it. So I've been on vacation since last Friday now. Been pretty busy down here. I got a lot of ballast done. Got a lot of track painted and ballasted. My two main lines are pretty much done, besides touching up some switches. The third loop still has a good amount of ballast left over here where it runs through the yard and then back over here. Here's a car I use after I do ballast before I run engines. I'll clean my track just to make sure there's no glue in it, and then I use a Proto 2000 weight taped on a flat. I just run that to make sure everything's clear. The branch line, I got that all painted and ballasted. I don't know if I did a video with this, but this is all the static grass I did recently as well. I use WWS static grass, various sizes and colors. Comes out really nice. Static grass is worth every penny. It's just such a nice, easy look to do too. Branch line's all done here, ready to get some more scenery around the mountains. I'm gonna get another house or two right there. Here's some racks I picked up on Amazon. Store all my paints, other stuff like that. This is just a dead space. So I do have a light that goes here. These are fairly cheap. They're like nail polish racks, I think these ones are spice rack shelves. But if you measure everything out, they have a ton of this stuff on there. They're fairly cheap. It's about $20 for 4 or 5 shelves. I had a tunnel portal over here, but I didn't like how it came out. I cut it too short, so I'll get another one. Everything on the layout, train-wise, has ran in the last video labeled HO running session, the most recent one. There's my scale trains, SD45s, lots of coal, Bowser C630s. I do have a Lehigh Valley Bowser Hammerhead on pre-order in the Conrail patched unit from the factory. Anybody who hasn't seen those up close in person, my buddy picked up one. Those Bowser RS3s look incredible. They're built to the exact prototype. So if you haven't seen one in person, think about getting one. Strongly recommend them. I got some track to paint over here. I'm not sure what I'm doing over this section. I might put a road over top of that track. It's kind of just like an extra siding for shifting over there in the industrial yard. And that one track's my programming track. So that might become a road as well. All that wall is super trees. I'll probably be getting more of those. Eventually, I've seen they have the bulk packs available again. There's some more dummies. These are Proto 2000 B units. Got them real cheap. They don't exist in the Conrail era, but it's just something fun to add for cheap. And then this really made this area look good. It was kind of boring over here, and then that just kind of set it off. These trees are from Amazon or eBay. Some company from China. For $20 for how many you get, they come out really nice. The different colored ones, like the lighter ones, I reflocked with some green blend, light fine turf. But again, once again, all this is ballasted. This is a daunting task. I have a pretty good routine method for doing the ballast. Comes out pretty quick. So what I do on the edge, the angled edge, you brush some just regular white glue on real light. And then sprinkle your ballast on lightly. You don't need to go real thick. And just kind of do the whole edge. And then you go back and do the space between the edge and the tie just real lightly and kind of just work it out with a small brush or your hand. And then the last thing I'll do is I'll fill in the middle of the ties. I'll put a real little amount in there and just keep spreading it so it's nice and even. I'm not a fan of the ties being overkilled with ballast. It's just this easy to make it nice and light. I'm going to come back and use powders and pigments. It'll change for the ties. It'll change the tone and texture on some of them. But these Reading cars are sharp. I think they're 70-ton cars with a 75 build date on them. I'm going to make my own coal loads eventually. I just need to get some material to mold some pre-existing coal loads, and then I'll make them out of plaster. It'll be really easy. Some of my coal hoppers do need weight, so it'll work out even better. Get a little bit of weight on them. There's a whole mess of coal hoppers. I need to get some 36-inch wheels for those once I start building them. I have 2 undecorated GP7s in Proto that I'm gonna make a short line custom paint job for. One's gonna be a dummy and the other one I have a Dakota ready. I do need to get more gears. But overall, that's how everything's going. Thank you everybody for viewing, subscribing, and tuning in weekly updates. Hope everybody has a good Thanksgiving, and I'll see you next time.